To start, let's create a new script in Dynamo. I will now add a Python node to the graph and open it for editing. However, this is not a good script editor, so I'll type the code out in Visual Studio Code instead and copy it back into Dynamo at the end. If you're new to this workflow, don't worry, just find in the video's description below a link to my other tutorial on how to set up this coding environment. It will also provide you with this Python template for Dynamo that will give you all the necessary information to then return to this video and start scripting with me. To begin, let's create a custom function to remove duplicate characters in a string. We will need this in a minute. It's pretty simple. I'll first create a set of characters, where a set instead of a list here, because a set can't contain identical elements, which is exactly what we want. Next, I'll create a result list to hold valid, unique characters from the input stream. Now let's iterate over the string's individual character. If a character hasn't been seen before, let's add it to both the scene set and the result list. If the same character appears again, it will be skipped by our if condition here. At the end of this function, let's join all unique characters in result and return the combined string. Alright, with that custom function in place, I'll move on and create a logical OR filter to collect all tags from the view. There are two classes in the Revit API for classes: independent tags and spatial element tags. That's why I include both classes here to collect as many tags as possible. However, that's only the filter. To get the actual tag objects, let's create an element collector like this, and then apply the filter to that collector. Next, we need to create a list of ID values to be deleted. This list will soon be filled with ID values of empty tags. To make that happen, let's start looping through all the tags we collected earlier. For each tag, I will call the tag text property to get a string that the tag shows in the Revit view. In the same step, I'll also call the remove duplicates method to remove duplicated characters from the text. This will keep only the first occurrence of each unique character, giving us a much cleaner string. Moving on, we can now check if the clean string is just a question mark or if it's empty. If either of these is true, this tag is an empty tag, so we can add its ID to the list of ID values to delete. At this point, I'm ready to say goodbye to those empty tags. To support that, I'll create a new list called deleted ID. This will store ID values of tags we successfully delete. Let's ensure the list of ID values is not empty though, so I'll add a condition like this. Otherwise, calling the delete command on an empty list would throw an error. As always, we need to open a transaction to modify the model, so let's do that here. The only command to call in this transaction is delete. After passing in the list of ID values to remove, I'll also convert the return value of the command to a list and then assign that to the list of deleted ID values we created earlier. Finally, let's output the deleted ID list at the end of this script. With that, our Python script here is finished. Next, let's copy all text from this file, paste it into the Python node in Dynamo, save it, and close this node. Also, I'll change the Python version here from version 3 to version 2. This is because my Python script in Visual Studio Code was written in this lower version. With that, our Dynamo script is finally complete. Let's now run the script to see it in action. Alright, it has worked quite well. However, if you look closely, these war tags are empty, but the script couldn't delete those. This really confused me earlier, but now I know why. The reason is that this war tag family makes use of suffixes in its labels. Let me edit the tag family now to show you. So once inside the family, I can select the tag label here and edit it. As you can see on the right there's a prefix text assigned to this property. The consequence of this is that when our script reads the tag text property of the tag, it also sees the prefix text in addition to the tag's actual reported value. So if a wall tag is empty, the text string detected by our script still contains other characters from this prefix text. Therefore, the script won't consider this tag empty and will omit it from removal as a result. There's not an easy way in Dynamo to get around this limitation of the Revit API. Luckily, you can still use tagitize to find all empty tags, even those that have prefixes or suffixes.